Gee, all of these psychopaths in the Epstein regime, all they have is deception and pitching, some narrative. They don't have much else. And the last one was they're trying to wrangle some sort of a ceasefire that with Iran that doesn't involve Lebanon. So, okay, let's say that's the case. Let's say there's this 10-point plan where the USA and Iran agree to a ceasefire, and now they're not bombing each other. Well, if Lebanon isn't part of that ceasefire, and so Israel is allowed to continue to bomb Lebanon, well, then Iran is allowed to bomb the IDF for invading Lebanon because they're not part of the ceasefire. See that? See how that it's an oxymoron, really, isn't it? If Lebanon, if they're saying, oh, Iran can't bomb Lebanon, the IDF, because it's not part of the 10-point plan. Well, if it's not part of the 10-point plan, Iran can bomb the IDF. You see what I'm saying? It's just the level of delusion amongst these. All they have is bullshit. Bullshit. So, well, what happened? Well, the IDF and the US have only got one weapon, is to really carpet bomb civilians. That's all they're good at. As Andrei Martyanov has recently said in one of his interviews, it's really good if the enemy is, maybe some Polynesian island with spears and bows and arrows, and at best a machine gun. You can hover around up there where they can't hit you with their guns and just drop bombs, and that's pretty much World War II warfare. That's all they've been doing. Well, all they do is strap a computer to the bomb, and now their targeting is better, their surveillance is better, their radar is better. That's all. But same thing, and they're getting their asses kicked because of an enemy can fight back because they have drones and missiles. Missiles can shoot planes down. Drones can reach them. Their aircraft carriers are way off the coast because missile come along, boom, missile versus aircraft carrier, as Andrei Martyanov would say if you go and look him up in his interviews. Well, aircraft carrier loses. It's just ridiculous. But more to the point, the mindset, the pitch. You can't bullshit yourself out of a war. He also says, that you can't win a war with hedge funds and stock options, which is how the military-industrial complex operates. As we know, it's all greed-orientated, profit-orientated, and that's why these weapons are failures in the first place, because obviously, let's say you're in the military-industrial complex and you're developing weapons, you're going to be yes man. Yes, I want my pay. I'm not going to rock the boat. Yeah, the latest cutting-edge technology. Yeah, there's a helicopter with missiles on it. Yeah, and an aircraft carrier and some jets and stuff. No, let's not go with some asymmetrical stuff. No. You're going to just go along with it because your pay result. So it's filled with yes men, and it's filled with basically decision-making based on greed. Oh, we've got this equipment here. It's a bit like that Max, was it? The Boeing 737 Max, well, I think it was. They had the equipment there. Rather than rebuild from scratch, let's change some AI so we can put bigger diameter jets on this thing, and it crashed. So, military industrial complex, profit-orientated. Well, we've got this World War II technology. Let's make it more advanced and save costs, So now they're getting found out because you can't win a war with hedge funds and stock options, and they've been ripping off the taxpayer for 100 years, haven't they? So it's all gone up to shit. Now the petrodollar is backed by oil, which is, I'll tell you how that works. Basically, money is an IOU, right? It's to see who's got credit and who has debt, so that you can trade. Right, I go to work, I get credit, I go and spend it. That's it. They try to back it with something. What do they call it? Intrinsic or what have you? Like gold. And gold really isn't worth anything anyway. In an apocalypse, you can't eat it, you can't sleep under it, you can't build with it. It's just very, very expensive because it's in the modern world where there's an economy. It's rare. It's hard to get. So the amount of work to put into that gold to get it equals the amount of work it's worth, right? So that's why it doesn't rust. So it's very good. It's very good to store wealth. So only the hive mind decides that gold is worth something, so that's worth something, and everyone agrees upon that. So it has value because of the hive mind. Not in an apocalypse, of course. Apocalypse, it's useless. As I said, you can't eat it or anything. But in the civilization, the hive mind agrees it's worth something. So if I have gold here and I say to you, this is worth something, you will agree and you'll be able to trade it for goods and services. So that's why gold is important. But the petrodollar isn't backed by any of that shit. They just print it and then say, well, put in the ledger, the IOU ledger. Well, now the debt's this. And that's as simple as that. And the reason why they can buy goods with it when it's nothing but an IOU printed on a bit of paper, figuratively speaking, is because it's backed by oil. So the Middle Eastern countries, they're just giving away all their oil for free in return for, in the end, let's say the so-called, let's say, well, everyone's getting away from the petrodollar. As you know, China is buying oil from Iran in yuan, and this is the hubris of the Epstein regime is amazing. They're shooting themselves in the foot by invading Iran, and Netanyahu, well, Netanyahu is dead, honestly, but his AI couldn't care less about the US or the West. Couldn't care less. The Goyim are meaningless. They're only here to serve the God people, the chosen people, right? So if the economy crashes and everything goes to despair and there's nothing but, like some sort of an apocalypse in the West, they couldn't care less. They just want to achieve their goal, and they're not going to achieve their goal because you can't achieve your goal if you shit in your own nest, because your own nest, your own backbone of your power is the Western economy, the Western civilization that they control by owning all the banks, and therefore by owning the banks and printing the money and giving it to all the shills. They own the DOJ, they own the FBI, they own the CIA is nothing but Mossad to keep everybody in check. If somebody gets in power that shouldn't, well, the CIA take care of that, like JFK, right? So Charlie Kirk, he flipped on him. Goodbye, Charlie, as they say in the Vietnam War. Yeah. So anyway, they got maintained this hegemony. Okay, so I read the first time I read hegemony. I said to myself hegemony. Now I can't get rid of hegemony. I've got to say hegemony. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, they got their hegemony. They failed hegemony, and it shot themselves in the foot, shat in their own nest. It's in decline. And by blocking the Straits of Hormuz, they've taken a massive dump in their nest because their petrodollar is the only way their IOUs have worth. Because if you're Japan and you have to buy oil in US IOUs, well, you have to give the Middle East US dollars. So they make cars, give it to the USA in return for US dollars, and then give it to the Saudi Arabia or whoever, Qatar, and get oil. So Japan comes out square, right? They've traded cars, manufacturing cars, they're good at cars, for in exchange for energy. Okay, they're happy, but now you've got these Middle Eastern states are full of these useless IOUs. What are they going to do with it? Well, and the Middle East, the people don't get the money. If the people got the money, they'd be charging 73% tariff royalties, like Norway does on their oil, and they'll all be rich. No, they've got a few royal families, which are basically shills, who get rich at the expense of the population, and pretty much they're rich. Why? Because US wants that oil for free, for minimum amount. A bit like Australia. Australia doesn't need to have a royal family. We're so blatantly corrupt here that they just ship out gas off the Northwest Shelf to other countries for like 1 cent a ton or something stupid. I don't know, 2 cents a ton. Absolutely. Oh fuck. I don't know, 2 cents a litre. I don't know, whatever. But it's just basically giving it away for free, so they don't have to fake it by pretending that there's some sort of indigenous leader with Lamborghinis and stuff. They just give it. It's so corrupt. Anyway, basically, the Epstein regime owns all of it by taking it. You've heard Trump take the oil. Who? The people of USA? They're all going to get fucking shares and royalties? No. The Epstein regime is going to take the oil to fund their petrodollar, to keep paying off all the shills and invading countries and wars and that, and it's completely collapsing because, well, they've shat in their own nest, as I said, and shot themselves in the foot through greed, selfishness, hubris, and a structure of yes men. and it's good to see. It's good to see. Good to see. But so back to the main point at the beginning of the video. So it's and they're very good at lying to themselves. They're very good at convincing others because they convince themselves first with their own bullshit. It's it's a bit like a guy with no conscience, and let's say he wants to fuck some guy's wife, and so he has to justify it. Oh, that guy he's bad to his wife. It's okay. I've come to her rescue like a knight in shining armor. I'm going to fuck her. So he's lying to himself to justify his evil. So this is pretty much the mindset of the psychopath. So self-righteousness always goes along with it, and we see a lot of that. So this pitch that Lebanon is not part of the 10-point plan. Well, if it isn't part of the 10-point plan, then Iran is allowed to bomb invaders to Lebanon, meaning the IDF. So it's the amount of bullshit that they try to fluff themselves with. That's where the word circle jerk comes from. They're all around each other, circle jerking each other with bullshit until they believe their own bullshit, and then they go and try and convince everybody and gaslight them too. The perfect example, the 10-point plan. See you later.